slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad.
Hello, Aloysius. Hello, everybody. How are you? Why have we not been here for ages? Ha ha. That's what I'm going to talk about. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. So, we are here to give you another update on our work in progress. The one that we've not touched for months and months. Yeah, the one we've not touched for months and months. But before we start with that, remember there is our shop if you want to support us. There is our shop where there are our books and our writing services. There's also our Redbubble shop with over 100 designs, some nice ones for Valentine's Day. And that is where you can support us if you want to support us in that way. If you want to support us without spending any money, absolutely fine. You can like, comment, subscribe, and share. So thank you very much for that. And let's get on with this. So what's your excuse? I don't have an excuse. Well, you've had writer's block. No, I haven't had writer's block. But you haven't done anything. No, I haven't done anything. So you're procrastinating. No, I'm not procrastinating. Well, then what is it? Well, okay. So, you know, and I think you guys know, I don't believe in writer's block. No, that is true. Yeah, I don't believe in writer's block because the way I see it is that you're not blocked. It's a case of something in you is saying, actually this won't work, but you're not listening to me, so I'm going to stop the flow of ideas. I'm going to stop the fish. You've been watching David Lynch, haven't you? Yes, I've been listening to David Lynch. Yes. But you are going to stop but I was using fish before I heard David Lynch was using fish. I'm not saying I was using that before him, but I was using it actually before I heard that he was using it. So it's not an uncommon metaphor. But anyway, yes, the idea that your subconscious knows something that your conscious mind doesn't know or hasn't realized yet fully is then going to stop you. But you haven't even started writing. But I haven't even started writing, therefore it's not that. Oh, okay. Usually when that sort of thing happens, it's a structural thing. Something has gone wrong with the structure and some part of you can see this is going to cause us problems. We need to fix this now before we have a big problem later on. It's sort of what people call writer's block, I call sort of like a intuition, a subconscious realization of something, the way the uncanny works. Yeah, kind of the way the uncanny works. Yeah. Don't you get that? Yeah, see, you don't want to admit it, but it's true. So you're procrastinating then. No, I wasn't procrastinating. So, okay. So the last time we had a look at what we were doing, that was a few months ago, wasn't it? Yes. About when you got your wisdom teeth out. About when I got my wisdom teeth done. Yeah. So that was back in October, and we haven't been here since October. No, we haven't really been here since October. So what has happened between then and then? Term 4, Christmas, holiday. Yeah, you think I might have been busy? A little bit. So work, Christmas with family, needed a break. That's not procrastination, is it? Not really. No. Most of the time when people are, I see people talking, the discourse online, the way people talk about writing is, there is an assumption that it should be like a tap. You just turn it on and turn it off. And it's like, well, I had mouth surgery Oral surgery. Yes. A hurt. Yes. Yes, I wasn't going to be sitting down and typing while I'm like kind of high on painkillers. Even if they're just paracetamol, it still makes you a bit sort of high, weird. Yeah, fair enough. So that was 2 weeks out. And then we had term 4, which if you teach, you know what term 4 means. Just so much stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so we were just getting everything normal done, right? Then there's Christmas. Oh, yeah, Christmas. Big. All of that. Yeah. Right. How tired were we by the time Christmas finished? Very. Yeah, we were very tired. So what do? Watch 31 movies. Yeah, we watched 31 movies in 31 days. Was that good? It was good, actually. Kind of tiring. It's kind of a lot to watch 31 movies you've never seen. Yeah. And so now we're no longer doing that. No. So what now? Now we get started. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of idea around the idea that you have to turn creativity on and off like a tap. That if you actually have some free time, therefore you should be creative. And it doesn't allow for the fact that we should really look at our creative lives as cyclical. Like if there are 4 seasons in a year, then you have to have the winter season. You may not like having a winter season, but if you don't have that winter season to rest, you are not going to get spring and summer, because spring and summer don't happen without winter. Okay, like, what about the tropics? Okay, fine, the tropics, but even then, not everything is. Like, if you go up far north Queensland, there's the wet and the dry. True. Things aren't growing vigorously in the dry season, even though it's dry, are they? Not especially. No. So, I mean, unless it's like really, really, rainforesty tropics, but even then, there is wet and dry seasons. So it's not quite the same equatorial world, but there are still on and off seasons. Yes. Why are you problematizing my metaphor? I don't know. I'm just feeling perverse. Why are you doing? Is this because we haven't done this for a while and you're going a bit strange? You are. So anyway, see, you treat yourself seasonally. Is really, really important. If you are if life is that bigger thing happening, who says you have to work on a creative project? You're not a machine. You're not a book factory or a writing factory. You don't have to produce X number of units to make your quota for the year. It doesn't work like that. And treating yourself like that is not healthy. There are going to be times when you need to not be producing an output. So what are you doing in winter? Input. But you watch movies. Yeah, I watch movies. But that has nothing to do with... Well, I don't know if it does or not. I have no idea if watching all those movies is going to turn up or not. Well, what were they? I went down a really big German rabbit hole. I watched a lot of German cinema. I watched far too many Herzogs in a row. Don't watch 5 Herzogs in a 5-week period. It's a bit much. It's a bit... very, very good. Really enjoyed them, but bit much. Bit intense. I feel a bit like I've overeaten chocolate. I really do. It's a bit... wow. That's a lot. How is that going to be useful? I don't know. I don't question it. Do you question every single thing you do? Is it research? No, it's filling the creative tank. It's looking at the world through a different perspective. So whether it's reading a book or listening to music or watching a film, you're viewing the world through a different perspective, a different lens. sometimes you're viewing it not only through a different lens, medium-wise, sometimes you're viewing it through a different lens culturally. Like German film. Yeah, like German film. Seeing different views of the world, even if it doesn't directly relate to what you are what you are producing yourself, doesn't automatically mean that that is not useful. So you're saying you shouldn't stick to just one style. No, you shouldn't just stick to one style of thing. I do find people who are exclusively engaging with one variety, one genre, is kind of perplexing to me, because it's like, well, how do you get new things if you're only looking at the same thing over and over again? I do find that kind of an oddity. Yes. Also, I mean, there are all sorts of different things that will create interest. Like there's different. You might get characters from somewhere. Different characters that do different things that you may not have initially thought of, or you might sort of realize that I've seen this to death. It's being used so many times. I don't want to use this. Or if I do want to use this, I need to come up with a better way of using it than what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing it to a point of boredom, which is never a good thing, to be seeing something to a point of boredom. No. So there's that element to things. Yes, but you still have had a long time. I still have had a long time. But I've also not been demanding of it that it be anything in particular or do anything in particular, and therefore it's been able to just sort of percolate. Yes, I had the idea. I had done some preliminary sketches so that I've got a broad sketches view of a narrative. Yes. And then I started doing the corkboard. Oh, you have actually started doing something? Yes, I have actually started doing something. So what I now have started creating is, I had little sketchy bits on the notes phone of my phone, yes, that I've been writing down whenever I happen to think of something, because I have my phone with me, so it's much easier to do that than try to memorize that, and it's much easier to do it on a phone than trying to do it in a notebook, because if I think of something while I'm walking along, I can just put it into my phone as I'm walking along, versus having to, come home and put it in a notebook. I really do find notebooks, I'd like to use them. I'd really, really like to use them. I like the idea of it, but I just don't use it. I just find it's like I'm transferring it from here to never look at again. It's kind of useless. Yeah, I know. So I'm just sort of skipping that step entirely. But what I have is the outline of a book. I have 8 chapters. I have the 8 chapters in order. I did change the order of 2 chapters because I realized that I needed one to precede the other in a different order than I had them, because of the nature of what I'm producing. Yes. I have a couple of images. I have then also been looking at maps, both contemporary and historical, because of what I'm looking at. Yes. Of London. Yes. So I now have started to put together multimedia on a corkboard. Written text, visual texts, in order to start producing a book. Because, why? Because then I can start to see, well, I need to start researching this aspect or this aspect before I can move on. Because you don't want to have to try and do the research for an entire book, because that becomes really difficult. You don't know what you don't know yet. You don't know what you're going to need to know 6 months away. You need to start, well, where am I starting this book? At the beginning? Well, generally speaking, at the beginning, yes. And think, okay, what do I need for this? So what do you need for this? Well, I need to think, what are my sources for this? Or in my case, what are the sources that I'm creating for this? What is the voice of this? What is the voice of the different sources? How am I going to reproduce that? How many words does each chapter need to be? Oh, this sounds complicated. Well, it is to a degree complicated. It's more complicated than it initially seems. Like, you get the idea and you can sort of see, oh, I know what I want this book to look like. Yes, you know what it wants to look like, but you can only see the macro. What you need to start doing is getting it down more and more granular, because if you can't get it more granular, you will not be able to produce the thing that you see in macro. Oh, yes. And you can't do that when you're tired. No. And you can't do that when you are distracted by something. Like German cinema. Yeah, like German cinema. I got a bit distracted. I went down a rabbit hole. It was interesting. It interests me. Does that mean Caesar's going to be back? Yeah, that does mean Caesar's going to be back, yes. I don't like Caesar. No, I know you don't like Caesar. Caesar stabs. Yeah, I know Caesar stabs if you don't wake him up properly. But, you know, we're not going to talk about Caesar right now. No. Okay. But, yes, that does mean Caesar will be back around. You don't have to be anywhere near Caesar. Don't worry. Okay, so, yeah, sometimes you just go down a rabbit hole and you are, okay, I'm interested in this for a bit. It's not going to affect anything, but obviously something in me thinks this needs to be discovered. I think that there is the older I've got, you're old now, aren't you? Thank you very much. I'm older than you. The older I've got, or the more experienced I've got as a writer, the more I have been willing to accept that writing is not linear, and it's also not a production line. But you can write reasonably fast if you want. Yeah, but writing reasonably fast if you want to is not the same as a production line. There is, okay, I can write this and I need to write this many words at this time, blah, 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 blah. That's just, managing your time and managing those things. No, what I mean is, it's not a production line. It's not, I need to produce things in the same way that a mechanized factory produces product. And so that, taking that pressure off is really important, that you don't have to produce something. You can have a rest, and in fact you will actually be better as a writer and produce better work if you actually give yourself the rest. If your brain has decided, you know what, I really, really, really want to follow this, and it has nothing to do with the book, sometimes it's just better to go with it rather than fight it, because all you're going to end up doing is functional freeze. Yeah, it's like, oh, good, we press the brake and the accelerator at the same time. Wonderful. We're just going to jam up badly. It never works. Sometimes it's the quickest way out is to go on the little detour. And you might find the little detour is happening because something says, we might use this. I don't know where, I don't know when, but we might use this. So we may as well go on the detour. You may as well go on the detour. Sometimes the detour is quicker than trying to push through. Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're up to. We have actually started now writing. writing, researching for the bit that we're going to start writing. How's that? Yeah, that's probably more accurate. We have started. Don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but we'll be back next time when we have another update. Not sure when. No. Not sure when we'll have another update, but we will have another update in the future to keep you informed on how our writing project is going. So until then, bye-bye. Der Wolkefinger, ich bin ja Jesus, wie Reise, sa. Bye-bye! If you would like to support this channel, come across to the Black Cockie Press website, www.blackcockiepress.com.au, where you will find books and other writing services to help with your writing.